What is going on, you guys? Today I have a super quick episode for you. This one is going to be reviewing Andy Elliott, and the episode is called The Number One Way to Change Your Life Forever. Sounds pretty interesting, so let's hop into it.
The greatest responsibility in your life is to be in control of your own thoughts. People have 60 to 70,000 thoughts going through their head a day. Most are negative. Time to freaking reprogram.
Already, right? Like I think some people won't believe that you have like 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. And the funny part about it is mostly because so many are wired into your brain subconsciously, like you've been doing them your entire life, right? So like it's just like a split second decision or split second thing that happens that you do as second nature. So it feels like you're not thinking about it, right? So, and that can be actually good, and also it can be dangerous for certain behaviors that you want to change, right? Because like certain behaviors could be so deeply wired into you that you're not even really thinking about it too much, but you might want to change them. And this is why it's important to become conscious of them and then rewire that.
Hey guys, Andy Elliott here today, and I'm here with a short video to tell you probably the greatest advice you'll ever get in your life, which is the number one way to change your life. And by the way, how would I know how to give the video the best advice, how to change your life? Because I changed mine. Number one, I built a 9-figure business in the last 3 or 4 years, okay? I'm on fire with my wife. I'm a badass parent to my kids. I literally have done more than anyone else said that I would do. I've overcome the craziest obstacles. I am the comeback kid. And so if you want to be the comeback kid, if you want to come back from anything, if you want to change your life right now, I'll show you how to do it. Number one, write this down. You got to change my identity. Listen, every single thing in your life comes down to who you think you are. And by the way, who you think you are, your identity, who you believe you are, is how you'll behave, it's how you'll treat people, it's how you'll do things, it's the business you build, it's the way you study, it's the way you learn, it's the way that you perceive the world, it's the way that you think the world perceives you. All this is done by an identity. And what I did is I'm just gonna be straight up, man. This is how easy it is. And you can do it right now, it's a simple decision. You can just make a decision to totally recreate yourself, reprogram yourself, and just be a different person. I wanna tell you, I was training with Patrick Bet.
I love that because I think most people will be like, oh, that's just the way I am, bro. Or like oh, it's hard for me to change. It's funny because you're telling yourself that. It's your narrative or your story. Like you're telling yourself it's hard, telling yourself that you can't change because that's just the way you are. Old dog can't learn a new trick, blah, 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 right? And what he's saying, I love that, right? Because it's like, literally, it's just a decision. And one kind of interesting thing behind that could be that you don't trust yourself enough to make a decision, right? Like some people have found themselves in that situation where for some reason maybe they made some decisions in the past that felt like they led to less than ideal outcomes, right? So they don't trust themselves because of that, right? Now, the good thing to know for you, right, is that you've reached your current mindset because of those decisions. So you've already experienced those things, and the past no longer exists. The future doesn't exist either yet, right? So the only thing that exists is the present, which means that you can trust yourself to make a decision in this moment and course correct as you go. I love this.
I was in an event. I decided to change my life, okay? 2019, it's 2024 at the time I'm shooting this. And in 2020, I went to a conference. I go to a conference every quarter, okay, called The Vault. And Patrick Bet David talked about something called future truth. I want you to write that down, future truth. What does that mean? Does that mean it's true today? No, it means that it's in the future, it'll be true. And I remember as he was explaining this, and by the way, I operate from a state of madness. Okay, you know, I had a lot of people bet against me, and I'm burning those people's eyes out. I'm thinking in my head, I'm gonna burn their eyes out with my winning. I'm gonna make it. There's no way in hell they're gonna be right about me, okay? I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna win, I'm gonna be the comeback kid, I'm gonna come back. And then I've got my wife that always believed in me, and I'm like, if you got somebody that's gonna believe in you, I'm not gonna let her down. And I was like, I need to make a change. And I'm ready, and I'm serious. And I know a lot of you guys right now are serious too, and I'm gonna tell you how to do it. He said future truth. He said basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna write down who do you wanna be, and all the way from like, what do you wanna look like? And like, I'm in really good shape. I mean, I take really good care of myself. I'm very lean. I'm 44 years old. And I just say this as a point of like zero like pride, ego, or entitlement. I say it with full confidence that everyone on the other side of this camera right now can totally transform and change your life from physical condition to mental condition to financial condition to everything, okay? But he said, you know, like what do you want to look like? How do you want to behave? How do you want to treat people? What's the way that you want to love people? How do you want people to see you? How are you going to walk? How are you going to talk? Like, how are you going to operate with your team? Like, what kind of standards are you going to have? How are you, like, what triggers you? What makes you angry? How can you stay calm? How can you, it's like all these things, like who I wanted to be, basically my ethos, my identity, who I want to be, future truth. What was I going to do? And who did I want to become? And I literally told myself a lie, straight up. I'm going to give you permission to lie right now. People say, don't lie.
Americans who are traveling or living abroad have the right to vote from anywhere.
Lie. I told myself that I was this person. And people say, well, that's imposter syndrome. That's this, that's stupid. Okay. Okay. Let me tell you what happens next. So I tell myself this lie that I'm this person. And honestly, I became delusional. I was like, all right, that's me. That's who I'm going to be. And I started behaving that way. I started working like I was that person. I started acting totally different. I started speaking different, talking different. Self-esteem, self-belief, self-confidence, all these things raised. I kept my word, okay? I kept my word, you know, not just to other people, but to myself. Well, if I said I was gonna get up at 5 a.m., I got up at 5 a.m. No non-negotiables, no questions asked. I did it, no matter what. I fell in love with doing the things that I hated, and I did them like I loved them. I literally became a different creature and a different human being. And you know what happened? A little bit of time went by, and I became that person. I'm not even joking. I remember making the decision that day that I need.
It was an identity shift because he made that decision, right? And doing the things he didn't want to do, or doing the things that he didn't want to do, especially when he didn't feel like it, right? Like getting up at 5 a.m., going to the gym, doing this and that, right? Like shifting how you believe in yourself when it comes to maybe like a business deal, sales, right? Like, because oftentimes it comes down to your level of confidence and conviction behind something, like actually backing what you're selling, you know, like, because if you believe in yourself, then the person you're talking to on the other end can tell too. And it's like, it really doesn't make a difference to you whether the sale happens or not. You actually just want them to help themselves here, right? Like basically you want them to succeed. And so it would be a bummer if they didn't understand what you were trying to help them understand, right? Like basically, because in sales, you essentially want to get them to sell themselves, right? Like ask them the right questions so they sell themselves. It's not your job to convince them, right? And at the same time, because I know like there's tons of salespeople that'll be like, well, you gotta convince them and do all this objection handling. It's like, okay, yeah, I mean, on one hand, I guess that's like a decently valuable skill. Like I've been in sales myself, so I know how to objection handle. But at the end of the day, like you want them to be so convinced because you have an awesome product, right? So this is a slight tangent on that because, again, it comes down to you believe so much in that thing, or going back to you believe so much in yourself, right? That you can shift your identity, be so convicted that you basically have sold yourself on this new identity shift.
To change my identity. See, because.
And by the way, I love that he's talking about this future truth thing because I keep running into this now, and I don't know if you guys have as well. I had one conversation with someone in person, and then funny enough, I mean, our phones and stuff, it's like people like to say like, oh, they listen to us. I think it's true because I keep getting videos and content that's talking about this idea, right? Like write down all the details of your future self, who you want to be, and then be that person now.
You live with yourself 24/7, 365. People can think this is stupid, that's fine. Turn this off, keep the life you have. Stay the same. Or those of you that are crazy enough to change, and only successful people, right? The ones that really make it, those people are crazy. You crack open any really successful person, they're crazy. They told themselves who they were before the world identified who they were, before the market said they were that person, and before anyone else had evidence that they were that person. They were saying that they're that person. That's the way it works, okay? And so I made a decision that was who I was gonna be, and I'm gonna tell you what happened. I started changing, I started treating people differently, I started treating myself differently. My internal dialogue that I was having with myself was totally different. I started talking to myself different. Listen, you're the gatekeeper to your mind. The greatest responsibility in your life is to be in control of your own thoughts. People have 60 to 70,000 thoughts going through their head a day. Most are negative. Time to freaking reprogram. And that's what I did. And so I started studying, finding information, new leadership training, sales training, like just self-development. I totally immersed, right down to total immersion. I totally immersed in new content, new information, being around new people, a new mindset, new way of thinking, a new way to see things. I went to events all the time because I needed to be around positive people, like-minded people that wanted to become how I wanted to become. And obviously I audited anything that was negative in my life so I could get it away from me. And future truth. I woke up and, a couple years have passed. I now live in Scottsdale, Arizona. I've got a team of 100 killers. They're awesome, amazing people, super loving, amazing. They're called Elliott Army. I'm sure you know who they are. I have thousands of people request to work for my company a day, and we're not hiring. Okay? I know a lot of companies that want to hire people and can't hire anybody. And I have 1,000 people every day ask me, Andy, can I work for you? Very high-level people want to walk away from their jobs to come work for a culture like mine. Me and my wife are on fire. My kids choose me as their hero. They're amazing. Okay? I'm in the best shape of my life, super healthy, and I have a very rich life, and I don't mean with money. I mean, I love my life, and I built a 9-figure business. Change your identity. Reprogram yourself. When you change, everything changes. I'm going to tell you a couple reasons why you want to change. Number one, everybody has people that look up to them and watch them. You guys all have someone watching you, little brother, little sister, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, neighbor, nephew, niece, I don't know. Someone's watching you. Okay? And you're probably letting them down. Don't do it. If there's one person that believes in you, it's enough to change. And by the way, listen, there was even a point, my wife's always believed in me, but there was a point where, I needed to believe in me. I needed to know that a person like me that could screw everything up, all of it, was qualified for this life. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you something, this is a secret. What you can overcome, which I know you have some things going on in your life right now, what you can overcome, you're immensely qualified to help other people overcome those same things. And God sometimes has us go through these things so that we can help other people. Look, dude, you think the world's like perfect or you think the world's lost? 95% of the people in this world are lost. And guess what happens? When you can unscrew yourself, when you can fix yourself, when you can self-correct, when you can build this new identity, you can help millions. Because what you can do with you can do with anyone else. And since I did it to me, now I can do it to you. And now when you do it, you'll go help millions of others. I believe that. Okay, it's a law of manifestation. It's the secret, and it's the way life works. And listen, if you're listening to everything that I'm telling you during this video, is that I'm saying you're qualified, you're completely capable. This is not motivation, this is not a hype video. This is to tell you if you truly want to change your life and change your family's life, break your bloodline, break generational curses, you have to change your identity. And you can take anyone.
You have to trust yourself. And you have to believe in yourself.
Identity. I took the top 20, top 30 influencers in the world, the best business people, and I took the best and I left the rest. And I built me. Okay? I get 100 to 150 million views every 30 days on social media. How? How when a normal person like me can make a decision and say, all right, I'm ready to change and I want to change for me, but also I want to go change others. It's called intentions. And I believe right now, and I mean this, God is asking you, is it time? Is this the video? There's the day you're born, the day you die, and the day your life changes forever. I hope you guys really watch this video 10, 15, 20 times. I hope you understand that I come to you with my heart during this video, and I want to tell you, you have no idea what's possible when you get serious. Or you can be one of these people that, like 3 years ago they said they were going to change, and 2 years ago they said they were going to change, and a year ago they said they were going to change. And here I am calling them out, and they're mad at me because they still hadn't changed. But they're like, Andy, seriously, I'm so serious. This next time I'm seriously going to change. You're never going to change. Look, discipline is easy, regret's hard, okay? Over my dead body, am I going to let my bloodline down?
Ooh, I like that. Discipline is easy, regret is hard. I've said this a few times, and I getting comments from guys that are like, for whatever area, they're like, I'm going to give up, right? It's just too hard. And again, right, this is exactly what he's saying. Discipline is easy. Regret is hard. And the funny part about it is you could be like, oh, being disciplined, becoming who I want to be, doing that hard work, it's hard, bro. Again, you get to choose your hard. It's actually easier to go through the difficulty of discipline and becoming who you want to be, live a fulfilling life, have a great family, etc. It's actually easier to do that than it is to give up and suffer in pain and regret and get to the end of your life and be like, why didn't I do that? I should have done this. What if I did that? Right? That is unbelievable how many people are like floating through life. I'm going to change, and they don't. Right? So what he's saying, super powerful.
For my dead body, if your bloodline has been shitty, like I've had a pretty shitty bloodline.
And by the way, like he made a good point about like his wife believing in him, his kids believing in him, and you can have that and still not believe in yourself somehow, right? So he still has to change his self-belief, right? And when he was able to do that, right, you create like a flywheel effect, right? Like, so they believed in you already, now you believe in you, so now you're just getting even more steam and snowballing into more success, and now you can be proud of you and they can be proud of you too. Like think about, like, that's another motivator too, right? Is like every decision you're making, like he was talking about, like your mom, your dad, your kids, your wife, whatever, right? Like people in your life that are quote unquote watching you, you can make them proud, right? And basically, one powerful motivator is to think every decision that you make in your life, like eating a candy bar, taking a sip of alcohol, skipping the gym, watching Netflix after your 9 to 5 instead of working on a business or a side hustle or something to get you the financial freedom you want. Each one of those decisions, do you think of your kid or your wife or your, when your parents or someone who has been watching you, is that going to make them proud? Does that make you proud? Because more than likely it's a coping mechanism, a defense mechanism in escaping the reality that you want to be living, right? So it's like temporary self-soothing to get the short-term dopamine pleasure rather than delayed gratification to reach that life that you've always wanted. And don't let yourself get to that point. He's talking about discipline is easier. Discipline is easy. And with pain or regret, you'll have the most pain there.
Just going to be honest with you. Can you not alter and change your DNA for the people that are to come in your bloodline? Okay? Maybe it's time for you to step up and be the bloodline breaker like I am. Okay? I love you guys. I appreciate you. I made this video for you so you'd understand the hack, the shortcut, the way to changing your life forever. And by the way, here's the secret. When you change, never change back. Ever. That's the secret. Okay? Guys, if you're watching this video, down below.
That's a good point. Like, because people can fall into old habits. I'm actually in the middle of reading a Tony Robbins book called Awaken the Giant right now. And he was saying, like, he went through a period early on where he changed a bunch of people's lives. And then, like, a smoker that he helped, like, I don't know, 2-3 years prior, he quit at the time, and he quit for about 2 years. And then he picked the habit back up. And it was because he fell back into his old identity, his old character. So it wasn't like Tony felt like a failure for a moment, and then he realized, like, it was something where the person didn't go through a full identity shift and they changed back rather than continuing to be the person they wanted to be, who wanted to quit, right? So that's another powerful message is keep going, shift that identity, so you can stay the person you want to be. All right, guys? I hope you got something valuable out of this video. Definitely enjoyed it myself. A lot of good stuff in here. And if you like it, like, comment, subscribe. If you've been enjoying the content, getting any value out of it, I did put a PayPal link below if you're interested in, tipping or donating. Not necessary, but I do appreciate it. And then also, I put a link down below as well for starting to offer private consultations for free. So if you would like some help with a situation that you're going through, I'd be happy to see if I can help you. Outside of that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. You got this, bro.